Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Talk Real to Me podcast. I'm your host, MacCauley Stahowski. Today, we have Brianne McAllister on the podcast. Today, our topic is the Wingman Foundation. Excited to get into this topic and what Brianne has done for this foundation. Brianne, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the foundation, how long you've been in it.
So the Wingman Foundation is a all-volunteer nonprofit. We support Gold Star families in the naval aviation community, including Marine Corps, on naval aviation mishaps. So we provide immediate post-mishap support. And that could be anything from airline tickets, hotels, food, squadron support. There's so many things that we do, and every situation is different. And along with providing just support to be there with them and talk them through and help them through. We come in at, which is the worst day of their life, and we do our best to try and ease the pain and help them through the grief and just take care of them the best we can. So Wingman was started by 3 Marine Corps service members who saw a need for something more. They had lost some friends and there was some missing pieces that the families that were left behind needed. And that's where kind of the foundation came from. And so they are our founders, and we have a group of 6 extraordinary women who are, we are all now run off of our operations team is run off of 6 military spouses. And we handle the day-to-day operations of the foundation and everything from fundraising to events, and all the in-between stuff, the social medias. There's so many things that we do, memorials, and there's just so much behind the scenes work that happens between these 6 women, and we all are in different parts of the country, and we all get together every 2 weeks or so and have virtual meetings and see what the need is, see what we could be doing, planning our next events, family needs, because we do go beyond the initial mishap. We are there supporting families throughout, and supporting their kids. And we set up scholarships in the names of our fallen. And there's just so many things that are happening constantly all the time. And even if we don't have a big event happening, we're in the background making the foundation the best that we possibly can make it.
Well, let's hit on the topic of you guys being across the country. So that's actually how this was founded. Those 3, they were Marine Corps veterans, right? So roughly a decade, I read that they were inside of this, sphere of military.
Right.
And then they wanted to build this foundation. They were also across the country.
They were all in different parts of different facets of their military career and in different duty stations and different things. And so it's pretty amazing that, it was very grassroots and very organic how it started. And to see what it's come to today is pretty amazing. And I know that in speaking with some of those gentlemen in the past few days, they're just extremely happy with where it's come and the story and the families that we've helped, and the way we continue to honor and remember and keep building these service members' legacies and helping their families remember them and honor them. I think one of the things that you fear when somebody passes is that they're going to be forgotten, and so that's one of our main goals, is to make sure that they're not forgotten, and we provide an avenue for families, our Gold Stars, to do that and continue to say their names, tell their stories, and make sure that they're not forgotten. And so that's, I think that's the biggest take home from the foundation, is that's what our goal is to take care of our Gold Stars first and foremost, but help them honor.
So let's hit on what is a Gold Star family?
So Gold Star family is the family members of our fallen that are left behind. And so, that's that's spouses, parents, kids, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. That's a Gold Star family. So Gold Star spouse, Gold Star kid. And this year we had our DC walk, and we had a really great amount of our Gold Star families walking with us. So
let's talk about that. So
Yeah.
Washington, D.C., that's probably one of your guys' biggest events as far as bringing those Gold Star families together.
Right.
Explain that walk, how long it is, and just that process of how mentally draining that it could be, and the families that you see that come in during that time.
So every year we go to Washington, D.C., and this was started by two of our volunteers, our co-chairs, Kelly and Wynn, husband and wife. They started it in New York, and which I would imagine was much more daunting to navigate through New York on 20 miles. And so they have grown it and made it this amazing flagship event for our foundation. And it's how we kick off our Memorial May, which we're in now. And so obviously Memorial Day is in May, and so we take the whole month to honor and remember. But this is kind of our big event. So the event is now held in Washington, D.C., and we walk 20 miles, which is a lot of miles. We stop every mile and honor one of our fallen, or in some case, two of our fallen. We've grown so much, and we want to try and honor everybody. And so what takes place is then you're stopping we have a picture of them, of our fallen, and we tell their story, and there's a flag, and we invite anybody who has anything to share about their loved one or their friend or squadron mate or whoever it may be. And we talk, and we give them a platform to share and tell their story. And so stop every mile, and we honor that. So we go all the way through DC. We go through the National Cathedral. We go through Arlington, which is a moving experience. And some of our Gold Star families have their service members buried there. And so that's always a very emotional portion of the walk.
For those that don't know, what's in Arlington?
So Arlington is the national cemetery for service members that they have the honor to be buried there. So we have some of our Gold Star families have their loved ones there, and so you kind of see them veer off a little bit and go their own way and have their moment with their fallen. And so and Arlington's towards the end of our walk, and our final stop is at the Iwo Jima Marine Corps Memorial. And so it kind of progresses towards the end of the walk is our more recent losses, our most recent mishaps. And so this year we had two of our most recent mishaps. We had some of our Gold Star families there to honor. And that's always a tough one because they're still kind of in that fresh stage of, both of the mishaps on our last leg were less than a year ago that they took place. And so it's a new experience. You go through all the emotions, and this is the first time they're going. It's the first time probably first event they've been with the foundation. What I watched happen this time, one of the mishaps that took place, I was the lead on and helped that family in particular. I watched a mom who is still going through these early stages of grief feel like she wasn't alone, maybe for the first time in a while. And there was other families there telling their stories, and she had mentioned to me that the amazing part for her was that there was other people who had similar stories and had similar things to say. And so that for me was a positive takeaway from the walk this year. Also, we had a lot of our Gold Star kids that haven't quite been ready to walk a 20-mile event, because that's a lot on little legs and little feet. It's a lot on older legs and older feet.
20 miles, that's a lot.
And listening to the conversations that were taking place between some of these kids that had lost their daddies, and talking about their dads, talking about what did your daddy fly? And do you remember him? And, one of our staff had got a video of that. And as I was sitting in DC traffic, transporting people around and kids and everything, I watched that video, and that was a real reminder of why we do what we do. It kind of came full circle for me this last week, because we were just a few days ago getting home from this event, and it's moving. It's a good reminder why we do what we do, and it's just a place for all of these Gold Star families to come and be in the company of others that truly get it. They don't have to repeat what their story is. Like, they just all know, and they all embrace each other, and they all support each other. And so it was a good event.
Yeah, it sounds very, very moving.
It is.
To where, like you said, not just for, the families that are there. It's everyone that's involved. It could be multiple families that are just going through this experience, and you have someone that's been doing this, 5,
right.
Unfortunately, 5-10 years they've been coming to this walk,
right,
to where they can help those people walk through and see what they're about to be going through in these next coming years.
Yeah. And as I was trying to explain it to this family in particular, that's kind of the explanation and that I gave to them was, this is going to be an opportunity for you to be around other people that have walked this path, that have felt this loss, and that you don't have to do a lot of explaining to. They're just going to know, and they're going to be able to hug you and understand and say, when they say, I get it, they truly get it. And so I think that this is one of the bigger walks we've had as far as turnout. We also had quite a few members of the squadron of a recent loss as well, that they flew out. And so that was really great to see too. They had suffered a big loss and had multiple losses in that mishap. And so it hit them hard, and it was nice to remember with them and give them an opportunity to remember too. So
I do want to hit on that. You mentioned squadrons. There's help that they need also during this time. I remember there's a few things that I just love about the foundation in general. One being, in 2018, 2019, it was top rated nonprofit. Nonprofit is huge when it comes to foundations.
Right.
And then also you wonder where that money goes. And when I got brought into this, I saw it instantly went to Costco. It was a response. You called and said, hey, we need to get this stuff here as soon as possible. There's someone driving now.
Yep.
They actually need help at the crash site.
Yep.
So not only is this money that is being raised going to those families directly, Gold Star families, but it's also going to the people that are working out there at that crash site also, correct?
Right. So I think what we, when we say 100% goes back, it 100% goes back. So in that case, in our Lemoore mishaps that we've had, there's been a request for, both have taken place in the summertime and in very unforgiving conditions out in desert areas. So it's hot, it's staying hydrated, and you have our military that is going out there and has a job to do at the site. And so they're there for, 10 days, 2 weeks. And so we get requests for hydration items and Gatorades, waters, whatever's needed, and snacks as well. And so that's when I call in my village and my favors and past clients and current clients and friends and whatever I can do, and try and find whether it's a airlift going down with, one of the helicopters going down, and we can stack in as much as we can into that helicopter. Like if SAR's going down or something, or if it's, somebody from the squadron going down to deliver something, I'm meeting them at Costco and I'm filling their car with as much as I can, so that we can not just take care of, the fallen and their families, but those that are there trying to do a job and get answers for the family and just trying to take care of everybody as a whole. So those funds that are raised when we have these walks and we have these memorial events go towards that as well. So we're taking care of everybody involved, because that's not an easy job to have either, to go out and to have to be a part of that. And we also try and take care of the squadron and bring meals and just provide whatever support we can for their services, on base or whatever, helping with providing food for the memorial service. Like I said before, every need is different. So
Right.
things pop up that maybe we didn't do in a previous one, but we think it's a valid need, and so we help with that stuff as well.
So as far as that money, it's a collective group that you've talked about. That's nationwide. You guys get together. Is it a phone call like, hey guys, this is what this squadron's needing? Is this something that we can do? Is it a difficult process in order for them to? It's
not. I'll tell you, we are a well-oiled machine behind the scenes. The women that do this, that we do this with, are phenomenal. And a lot of times when these mishaps happen, we are somebody notifies us, and they're not supposed to, but sometimes we'll get a text, or I think most of us have alerts set up on our phones for keywords on Google. So, we get an email or a text or whatever. But a lot of times we do get people know somewhere along the lines with the 6 of us or one of our spouses. And so we are aware that something's happening. And so then we kind of just get the conversation going, get the wheels in motion. And we just wait for a phone call to request for help, or and then at that point we send out an email to the commanding officer of the squadron and say, hey, we're here. This is what we can offer. We're standing by for your lead. We're never there to overstep Navy or Marine Corps or their process. We are there to help support, and we're there to help them with things that they may be out of their realm of being able to do. So never is Wingman the first call. Never is. We are there to help, and we are there to support in any way that we possibly can, and fill in those missing pieces that may be red tape that maybe Navy or Marine Corps can't do. That's what we're there to do. So, but as far as when we're notified of a mishap, and when we have permission to fundraise on behalf of the family, and we have permission from the squadron, then the wheels are in motion. We've got one of our team members getting the fundraising website going. We've got another one working on a memorial patch. We've got everybody just jumps into place. Me leading that mishap, or it's another one of our mishap response team. Everybody just fills in the spaces, and within hours, we're ready to launch, we're ready to go, we're ready to support. So that's kind of the amazing part about our group, is that if you saw behind the scenes what happens, it's pretty phenomenal.
Well, let's talk about the memorial patch. Mm-hmm. So those are very, very unique.
Yeah.
And something that is for that specific fallen person, or right. fallen, I guess you could say, soldier. Right. In this case, they're out there, whether it's training, right, or just a mishap
deployment,
in general. Unfortunately, whatever it is. But that patch is something that I feel is very special.
It is
to it. Yeah. So can you explain that process?
So we have one of our volunteers. He does great work for us, and he immediately starts working on a memorial patch, and it usually will have the squadron, the standard squadron patch, and then he'll put the flight call sign and the call sign of the fallen on there, and creates a patch that we in turn give out to the whole squadron, complimentary, and then we give complimentary to the family as well. And then the rest he sells on his website, and that money he donates back to our mishap response, so that we can carry that on in the future. And so we really have just this amazing village of people that step in and get things going. And he gets that patch and sends it out for approval. And then within a few weeks at most, he's got it out in a box delivered to the squadron. And it's just something for to memorialize, right? But it's also something for those within the squadron left behind to literally carry on their chest with them. And so it's a great program, and is a huge part of our mishap response too.
I think that's a great way to fundraise for the foundation.
Yeah.
Is there are people that like to collect patches, and they don't really know this foundation. So I
Right.
think getting this out there to be like, hey, if you're a patch collector of anything military based,
And it goes to something. Yeah. There's a
exactly. We have
purpose.
this. You can also, buy this patch, and there's a story
Right.
behind it.
Yep, for sure.
You can even look it up online, kind of deal at that point.
Yeah.
And see exactly what's happened, why
Yeah.
this patch was made. So I feel that's very unique in the foundation.
Yeah,
and something
it
that
is.
can be pushed
Yeah.
to expose or give more exposure.
Yeah. No,
So-
it's a great program, and it's a great thing. And again, just great people wanting to do more and wanting to take care of. And, it's a great talking point. It's a great thing that we've got. So
Let's hit other ways that you guys fundraise. Rob Cameron Rizika
Yeah.
is a big part of Tailhook and
Yes.
a very special prize that you guys give out.
Yeah.
And that's yearly.
Yep.
So go ahead and explain that side also as far as what you do as fundraising.
Yeah.
Not just, the cornhole board,
Right.
but what else do you do as far as
So,
fundraising?
Rob is a retiree. He's a retiree here. Him and Dustin served together. They were department heads in VFA 41 here in Lemoore, and he retired. And he has a custom cornhole business.
There you go.
Called Cameron's Custom Creations. And so every year he's incredibly generous, and he donates a set of cornhole boards. So we do a raffle up at Tailhook every year. And he hand stains these beautiful pieces, and he always keeps the theme with whatever Tailhook's theme of the year is. And so he donates these, and then I have a booth set up for Top Hook at Tailhook every year. And so we sell raffle tickets, $5 each. And then Top Hook Realty matches that. And we, anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 donation that we can turn around and make back to the foundation, which again goes back to our mishap response. We've in the past also, if we've needed it for a certain mishap that was taking place for a family, we've donated it and put it towards that. Whatever we kind of see where their need is for that time at that time. But generally, it goes to the mishap response and the things that we do in those events, like providing the snacks and that kind of stuff, that squadron support, whatever's needed. So those are always incredibly popular, and people tend to be very generous, or sometimes they'll just stop by and say, here's $50.
Right.
We live far away. We don't want tickets, but we really love what you guys do. It's been a great talking point to bring awareness to the foundation at Tailhook every year, and those cornhole boards are a conversation starter.
Really
So
is.
it does more than just an opportunity to raise money, which is great. They also provide an opportunity to explain a little bit more about what the foundation does. And so we've been able to do that for the past 4 or 5 years, I think, with the cornhole boards. So it's been a conversation starter, and we were able to bring Wingman to Tailhook last year. And so that was even better, kind of a great opportunity to talk, educate, tell the story of the foundation, tell the story of some of our fallen and their families. And so that's been good.
Yeah, even pilots coming in and telling their story too.
Yeah, we get a lot of that. We
Yeah.
get a lot of that. And last year I saw quite a few people wearing their memorial patches, and so that was really cool. But the amount of people that stop by and just say, hey, thanks for what you guys are doing is also a good reminder of why we do what we do too, because it's not just our Gold Star families. I mean, those are at the forefront of our priority, but it's squadron mates. It's, it's somebody you went to flight school with. It's those things that it hits them too. We get a lot of those conversations.
Right.
Well, they'll stop and tell a story to us, and we love that because we get to hear a different side too. So.
Right. As we wrap up here, what is the most rewarding and most difficult side of this great foundation for you personally? Mm-hmm. And then what do you see in the future of this foundation that gives the people the reason to donate? So
we are walking in on the worst day of somebody's life. And that is that can be daunting some days, because you are, for me, the hard part is I feel each and every one, like I feel it, and, because I know personally that every day my husband walks in the door is a blessing. And I know every day that I could be in that same position. And so that's not lost on me. What the importance of what we do is, it's hard to reassure them that we're going to help them through all of this, because it's the worst day of their lives, and they're getting all of this. They're meeting with the CAICO, which is the casualty assistant. They're talking to their skippers. They're, all of these things, their entire world just shifted. Right. If you're a young mom and you've got kids, or you're pregnant and your child's never going to meet their dad, your son, daughter, whatever it is,
makes it difficult.
It could be heavy.
Yeah.
The best part in a very dark situation is we get to be a part of helping them carry on the legacy of their family member. And that could be a big responsibility too. But I think that for me, it's just, I know, like when our dad died, the amount of people that just came and loved and supported and helped us carry through a very unexpected event. And that is, I want to be that person, right, for these families, because I don't know what we would have done looking back on all the chaos, and you were still a minor, and all the chaos that was happening, and people that were just stood there and hugged us and looked us in the eye and said, "We love you. We're going to get you through it." And they did. And so I want to be that person for these families. And with, the deep in my heart, knowing how grateful I am, because at any moment we could be on the other side of that. Right. And so that's probably the best and worst. It's all wrapped up in one. It's the pluses and minuses. These families are the heart of what our nation is, and the thread that people don't understand, that the sacrifice and what's left behind to pick up is hard, and it's daunting for them. And so just being a part of helping them through that is, it's a privilege, and it's an honor, and it's also a way to honor the sacrifice and loss of their loved one. And I think we owe that to our Gold Star families. We owe so much to our Gold Star families. We owe so much to these young kids that never get to meet their daddies and don't remember their dads. And we owe them. Right. We owe them this foundation. We owe them the love and the commitment to continue to say their names and have a place for them to be. I see that as this foundation grows, I see the support growing. I wish it didn't have to exist. I wish we weren't here. I wish Wingman was never a thing, right, but it is. And I'm grateful for that as well. So my hope is that we continue to grow. We continue to have the support. We continue to provide opportunities for these Gold Star kids. With scholarships and all the other great things that we do, that people know that it is going to support these families and directly like these. And I encourage people to come out to a walk or come out. We have all kinds of different events. We've got our Pensacola run in September. We've got this next month, we have a concert benefiting Wingman Foundation with Six Strings for Freedom on June 17th at the Riverdale Fairgrounds. We've just got so many things that come out and join us, follow our Facebook, follow our Instagram, all those things, and just watch us tell the stories and be a part of it. It's great. We are also, we're an all volunteer staff, so nobody gets paid. There's no payroll that's taking place. So everybody's just doing it from their soul and their heart. And we've all in some way, shape or form, have experienced a loss in the aviation community. I know we have with Dustin's time in. And so this foundation is important to all of us. And one of our daily operations team members is a Gold Star spouse as well. And she came back and volunteers and helps and kind of paying it forward and taking care of other Gold Star families as well.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll end it on these two things. You've mentioned our family being through similar findings through our life. I feel that this foundation, and I've heard you say it on the phone multiple times to squadrons, families, is what can I do to help? Mm-hmm. That's our family.
Yeah.
That's really what we're built on, is we please people in times that they don't need it,
right,
and in difficult times too.
Right.
So I feel this foundation fits perfectly for how we've been raised.
Yep.
And not only that, showing our future children, your children, just the ways of, hey, just to be compassionate. You've had your children out there, serving food, drinks, whatever it may be. And they're probably in shock a little bit of, hey, why is everyone down? Or, why is this person crying? To where you can sit there and explain and show the compassionate side of things. So I do like the fact that you are so knee deep in a foundation that is, what can I do to help? It fits us perfect, and it fits you perfect too. So I just want to give you a compliment on that.
Thanks.
And then I want to let everyone know in the link below that there are ways that you can research the foundation. I always recommend that before you just start, handing out money.
Absolutely. And I did that. I did that before. Like I was, I'm very conscious of where we donate and all that stuff. So it was a good couple months of, there were some mishaps and you want to help. And we, that's how Wingman first came across to me. And so I did a lot of research and all that stuff. And so, it took me a minute to get into where I am, because I really wanted to see the inner workings and how it all worked. And so
that's how you work in general.
Yeah. That's how I do it all.
Take your time.
They take my time.
Yeah. But if you guys are listening, watching, feel free, check the link below. Send us a message on Instagram, Facebook. If you'd like to donate, we will make sure that it goes directly to the fund, whatever it may be, or even that cornhole board that we end up putting out. If you guys would like to put in, an entry for tickets for that.
Yeah, we should have those. I need to get through retirement next month, but we should have those probably very, very shortly after. We'll start advertising for the cornhole boards in August.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Brand, thanks for coming on again.
Yeah,
explaining the foundation to us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us and highlighting it. It's an important